Welcome to Star Wars The Clone Wars Download. In this episode, we're going to take a look at Old Friends Not Forgotten.
Bravo, Anakin. You've done it again.
Oh, I can't take all the credit. Your state of helplessness really sold them on my surrender talk.
Always glad to help, my friend.
After a successful mission on Yavana, Obi-Wan and Anakin are greeted by a familiar face.
Hello, Master. It's been a while.
Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, and a group of Mandalorians meet with the Jedi to convince them to team up to stop Maul.
If we are successful, you'll have Maul, and I'll have Mandalore.
While Anakin and Obi-Wan have some other matters to deal with, Ahsoka, Captain Rex, and the group of clones head to Mandalore.
What are you waiting for? Get out there!
Making their way to Mandalore's surface, Ahsoka reminds everyone what she's made of, and the group heads below ground to track down Maul.
I was hoping for Kenobi. Why are you here?
And now we have an incoming transmission from Dave Filoni. Here's what he has to say.
Hello everyone, I'm Dave Filoni, executive producer and supervising director of Star Wars The Clone Wars. We are here at my remote location, secret location within the New Republic to talk about the final arc of Star Wars The Clone Wars, beginning with Old Friends Not Forgotten. I've always been interested in having the end of the Clone Wars series coincide with the events of Revenge of the Sith. It seemed the best way to bring a shape to the main character's arc in the series, and the film saga tells the story of Anakin Skywalker and his rise and fall and then his redemption. I don't need to tell that story in the Clone Wars. Knowing that, identifying the main characters of the series then are probably Ahsoka and Rex. They're the characters that we don't know about. We see this series largely through their eyes, even though there are many different story arcs. So there was a responsibility to tell the end of their story and then hand off Anakin and Obi-Wan to their proper conclusion, which is in the film Revenge of the Sith. I was in a unique position because I had to explain in a very short amount of time this girl reuniting with her friend that she hadn't seen, and what was that going to be like. I had to serve that story point, I had to serve that emotional content that not just the characters have, but I know the fans at large have as well. But this reunion and then parting, I had a set amount of time for myself to tell the story, to get all the strategy, what's going on across, but also the personal emotional investment between the characters, and that was it. And I think once you're done with that, we move to the next part of the story, which is the Siege of Mandalore itself.
Now let's hear what cast and crew had to say about Old Friends Not Forgotten.
Siege of Mandalore. Dave basically just let us know, up front, that this is going to be the hardest thing we've done. This is what fans have been clamoring for.
There's always a dichotomy between Obi-Wan and Anakin and the way they're going to approach things. And in these episodes, it's especially important to get that right.
Rex and Ahsoka have come full circle, from her being a scrappy little kid who Rex doesn't give much thought to her having earned her stripes as a force to be reckoned with, and these two are reunited, kind of improbably, but maybe inevitably also, in a really spectacular way.
Ahsoka and Captain Rex have one of my favorite relationships in all of the Clone Wars. And Ahsoka is incredibly touched to see all of the clones and to have the Tano troopers.
The clones painting their helmets to match Ahsoka's coloring, it's quite a gesture, I think, for them to paint that on there and to show those colors.
It was a touchy moment when Anakin gave Ahsoka her lightsabers back, and you can definitely tell that that meant so much to Ahsoka.
The one shot that I absolutely love is the way she looks up at him. You can just see how much it means to her that he would do something like this. And that was really what we wanted to convey in that look of, you've always had my back kind of thing. Then of course she lights them up and they're blue. Typical Anakin, has to make things better.
Last week we asked if you had any questions about Together Again. At Jacob W. Lockett asked, it was fun to see the Toon species again after their last major appearance all the way back in The Phantom Menace. What convinced the creators to bring back this rather unique race for Together Again? Ben Quadraneros would be proud. Killian Plunkett, art director, answered, the proud Toon people were going to make their majestic return to the screen in the unfinished Bounty Hunters arc. When the time came for Rafa to face the imposing Trandoshan boss, we thought the Toons would be a fun contrast, so we changed their outfit to warehouse workers. The rest is history. Have any burning questions about Old Friends Not Forgotten? Tweet us your questions using the hashtag Clone Wars Download, and maybe you'll see your question answered on the show. Want to learn more about this episode? Head to starwars.com/oldfriendsnotforgotten to check out the episode guide. And don't forget to check back next week for our deep dive into The Phantom Apprentice.